During the meeting, Zhang Yi discreetly observed the expressions of Zheng Yixian and Yuan Kongye. They showed no signs of unusual behavior, which made Zhang Yi feel more at ease. It seemed that his actions had not been detected. However, he began to wonder whether the forbidden area was truly as important as he had thought. If it were crucial, the Baishui sect would have guarded it more strictly. Nevertheless, Zhang Yi still planned to study the items he had collected that night. When night fell, Zhang Yi awakened everyone and took out the items he had found for them to see. Upon learning that Zhang Yi had infiltrated the forbidden area of the Baishui sect, everyone felt both nervous and excited. People are always curious about others' secrets. Zhang Yi produced a branch with leaves and a cocoon. When he opened the cocoon, the expressions on everyone's faces were somewhat peculiar due to its size, which was particularly like it was enclosing a person. Zhang Yi said to Zhou Kei, you have experience with surgery. Please open this cocoon. Zhang Yi had all the necessary laboratory equipment in his space, which was perfectly suited for her to conduct dissection and research. Zhou Kei remarked that the fruit and leaves needed to be brought back to the laboratory for thorough analysis, as the current environment was not ideal. However, she also noted that the cocoon resembled a mummy. Her words prompted everyone to nod in agreement, fully supporting her viewpoint. Zhang Yi hoped it was indeed a mummy rather than something more sinister. Zhang Yi instructed Zhou Kei to open the cocoon first, as things might not be as mysterious as everyone anticipated. Zhou Kei took out her dissection tools but did not rush to cut open the cocoon. Instead, she used a small flashlight to illuminate it. Through the light, everyone vaguely saw something inside the cocoon. It clearly resembled the shape of a person but was very emaciated, appearing to be just bones. It was indeed a mummy. Zhang Yi breathed a sigh of relief, feeling that the corpse was still within the realm of his understanding. Zhou Kei chose a knife with slender and steady hands and slowly tore away the green leaves. Indeed, after removing the leaves, a skeletal body covered in skin was revealed. Zhang Yi recalled the scene in the abandoned building with thousands of corpses hanging on the walls and realized the purpose of this plant. He said, I have a slight understanding of the purpose of this now. Liang Yu, curious, asked, tell us quickly, what do you think it's for? Zhang Yi smiled and replied, let's open it first. The situation might not be as mysterious as we thought. Zhou Kei nodded in agreement and began explaining, inside the abandoned building is a very large mutated plant. It has the ability to absorb nutrients from corpses and produce this red fruit. We have also seen many people from the Baishui sect eating this fruit. Perhaps this is their source of food. Liang Yu added, in theory, their forbidden area is actually a living food source. It's no wonder they are so cautious and do not allow any outsiders to approach. After learning the truth, Zhang Yi's group couldn't help but feel a bit disappointed. After all, they were not lacking in food and were not particularly interested in a plant that could sustain thousands of people. Of course, this plant was remarkable and valuable, but Zhang Yi and his team did not really need it. Zhang Yi then told Zhou Kei, when we return, analyze the components of this fruit and leaves to see if there is anything special. Zhang Yi had actually lost interest in the plant, but he still wanted to be thorough and reminded Zhou Kei. Zhou Kei nodded and said, give me some time. This plant is indeed worth studying. I will take samples, and then use a microscope and various biological testing methods for observation. Meanwhile, Bian Junwu's investigation team had removed their white gloves and examined the dissected mummy. They reported that it was merely a corpse that had been drained of its nutrients, with nothing unusual. As for the fruit produced by the plant, it had a psychological effect that could help the higher-ups of the Baishui sect better control their followers. However, no bacteria were detected, and the high sugar content made it a nutritious food source. Bian Junwu adjusted his sunglasses and said, I understand. When we return, take a portion of the plant's roots to see if the lab experts can cultivate it. This type is very useful. At the abandoned building, Zheng Yixian stood before the blood-red structure, looking up at the inverted cocoons. He counted and realized that one was missing. Zheng Yixian understood something in his heart and mumbled about their curiosity. The next day, there were no signs of the zombie group, which increased everyone's anxiety. The absence of the zombies raised concerns that they might be preparing for a massive attack. Bian Junwu used resources from the Jiangnan region and satellites to monitor the entire city of Tianhai to track the zombies' movements. Finally, with the help of advanced technology, they indeed discovered traces. Bian Junwu called everyone together and announced the latest news. The zombie group is gathering and heading towards us. The estimated number is at least 100,000 or more. You must be prepared. This will be a fierce battle. The number of 100,000 zombies caused everyone to frown. Their current combat personnel numbered just over 2,000. Facing such hard-to-kill monsters and high-level mutants like the ironclad zombies, this would undoubtedly be an extremely dangerous battle. In Zhang Yi's mind, He thought that the actual number was not just 100,000. Beyond Junwoo's statement could only be partially trusted and not taken entirely at face value. He wanted to stabilize everyone's morale and lure the zombies into a direct confrontation, so he had stated a lower number than the reality. In fact, the number might be at least doubled, or even 2 or 3 times, or even more. Beyond Junwoo said, "You do not need to eliminate the entire zombie group. Just hold them off for a period to give our investigation team a chance. Once we eliminate the Zombie King underground, the zombie group will lose its command and will be easier to deal with." Xingtian sighed. 100,000 zombies could be even more than that. Even without a commander, it will be very difficult to handle. Even with tens of thousands of pigs, we couldn't capture them all in 3 days. Beyond Junwoo continued, "Look at the bigger picture. A large number is actually beneficial, indicating a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. We might be able to eliminate all of them. Endure a bit now, and it will be easier later." Zhang Yi became even more certain. Based on Beyond Junwoo's character, he might have given a lower number to lure the zombies. He suspected that the actual number could be as high as 200,000, 300,000, or even more. Xiao Honglian frowned and crossed his arms. "I fear we may not be able to hold them off for long and might end up surrounded and killed by zombies here." Everyone was smart enough to realize that the figure of 100,000 zombies was unreliable. In reality, the number could be higher. Previously, their group had an underground base as a retreat, but now at the Baishui sect, they had no other choice but to protect the ordinary followers. Although they were not very enthusiastic about protecting these people, if the zombies breached their defenses, the reputation of the 5 major forces would be seriously compromised, and everyone could end up dying here. Therefore, whether they wanted to or not, they had to mobilize all their forces to resist the zombie attack. Beyond Junwoo continued, "If you find the defense too difficult, you can exchange tasks with others." He glanced at Xiao Honglian. "Or you can exchange tasks with us." Xiao Honglian's expression immediately became uncomfortable. The task of defending against zombies, although tough, was much easier compared to the investigation team's task. Infiltrating underground and facing countless ironclad zombies and a large number of zombies, apart from the investigation team, no other force in Tianhai City had the capability and strength to handle it. Xiao Honglian could only say, "I understand. At this point, our only option is to fight. Captain Bian, we will place all our hopes on you." Xiao Honglian thought to himself, "The investigation team has only 7 people and they want to go underground to fight the Zombie King. I'm not foolish. How could I possibly exchange tasks with you?" When everyone had no further objections, Beyond Junwoo spoke loudly, "Everyone, prepare yourselves. If we fail, Tianhai City will become a dead city. Jiangnan region might even decide to erase the city from the map." The tense atmosphere also affected Zhang Yi, who had initially been relatively calm. He couldn't avoid feeling anxious. If they really failed, what would he do? Perhaps his only option would be to use the dual space technique to take his loved ones and escape, then come back to find Yang Wanwan and the others to leave Tianhai City together. With this worry in mind, Zhang Yi approached Beyond Junwoo and asked, "Captain Bian, I have a question." "May I ask you something?" Beyond Junwoo asked. "What do you want to know?" Zhang Yi replied, "We currently understand the situation in Tianhai City. As long as we eliminate the Zombie King, the threat of zombies will end. So why did you not request Jiangnan region to send troops for assistance? With the power of Jiangnan region, sending a group of elite combat personnel to eliminate the zombies would not be difficult. There's no need for us to face such immense pressure. All the cities in the Jiangnan region fall under their jurisdiction, so they surely don't want to see a large number of deaths in the city. People are an incredibly valuable resource in the apocalypse." Hearing Zhang Yi's question, Beyond Junwoo laughed. He turned to Zhang Yi and asked, "Do you really think the situation in Tianhai City is that serious?" Zhang Yi didn't know how to respond. He could only smile and ask in return, "Isn't it serious?" Beyond Junwoo continued, "That's just your perspective. Even though Tianhai City is large, in the context of the Jiangnan region, it's just an ordinary city with nothing special. Across the entire region, there are new issues arising every day, from superhumans to anomalous creatures, not to mention the strange events in this era of mutations. There are too many situations that humans find hard to grasp. The major region has to address many problems, and the number of investigation teams like ours is limited. Therefore, unless the situation is completely out of control, the major region cannot send a large army to suppress it." Beyond Junwoo patted Zhang Yi lightly on the shoulder. "This world is vast, far more so than Tianhai City. If one day you venture out into the world, you'll find that this place is really quite peaceful. The interior regions of Central Plains, the rivers, and the large forests are where the real dangers lie." Zhang Yi felt curious but also hesitant about leaving Tianhai City. He sighed, "No need to go far. I prefer staying at home. Tianhai City is just fine for me." Byung Junwoo smiled lightly. If one day you change your mind, you can contact me. He meant to say, contact me, but stopped, thinking about his own health. He wondered if he would still be alive by then. After resolving the issue with the zombie group, they could talk later. Byung Junwoo thought to himself, I hope I'm still alive by then. As days passed, no zombies appeared around Baishui sect. The ground was completely quiet, giving the impression that the zombies had disappeared from Tianhai City. Finally, on the 5th night, the zombies arrived. The first to discover them was Byung Junwoo's guard post, as they were the only ones equipped with advanced satellite systems capable of real-time monitoring of events in Tianhai City. On the 5th night, zombies suddenly poured out from the 3 subway entrances around Baishui sect. Byung Junwoo immediately alerted everyone. Zombies are attacking, the battle has begun. They emerged from the 3 subway entrances, crowded and dense like ants pouring out of an anthill. Within a short time, the entire ground was covered with zombies, and more continued to pour out from deep within the subway system. Within just a few minutes, approximately 70,000 to 80,000 zombies had appeared around Baishui sect, including many ironclad zombies that were 2 to 3 times stronger than ordinary zombies. Even though everyone had mentally prepared, they still couldn't suppress their panic upon witnessing such a scene. Zhang Yi did not hesitate, immediately leading Zhou Kei'er to a safe place and entrusting her to Yuan Kongye. Please take good care of her. Zhang Yi firmly told Yuan Kongye before leaving, protect Zhou Kei'er well. Yuan Kongye replied, rest assured. Even if the zombies break through the outer defenses, the superhumans guarding the entrance should be able to hold out for a short time. After completing his tasks, Zhang Yi returned to his position at the periphery of Baishui sect. The sounds of fireworks had begun, signaling the preparation for the battle. The major factions spared no resources. The 3 large bases had deployed reserves of artillery, guns, and missiles at the battlefield behind them. Zhang Yi used the dual-layer gate to move to a high vantage point and began to assassinate zombies from a distance. At his feet was a bag containing thousands of rounds of ammunition. From this high angle, he could clearly observe the immense pressure each area of the battlefield was facing. Zhang Yi sighed and raised his rifle, wondering, how many zombies can each of my shots kill? He fired a shot, and a zombie several thousand meters away had its head blown off, exploding into a shower of blood. Although a decapitated zombie had not completely lost its ability to act, it became a headless fly, quickly trampled by other zombies. Zhang Yi did not stop. He continuously changed barrels and fired without pause. With his precise shooting skills, he could incapacitate one zombie every 2 seconds, rendering it unable to fight. Zhang Yi prioritized eliminating the nearest group of zombies based on the battlefield situation. This felt like he was playing a tower defense game. However, the pressure from this battle could not be simplified to a mere game. While he could kill hundreds of times more than an average soldier, it was still challenging for him alone to influence the entire battle. A voice rang out. Second line of defense, activate the firewall immediately. Flames erupted fiercely, burning down numerous zombies.